At a famous tourist spot in Australia, locals were horrified to discover a body drifting near the fountain area. After numerous efforts to analyze the scene and gather clues, authorities eventually identified the person responsible for this shocking crime. Even more shocking, 4 years into serving his sentence, he was found to be connected to another crime. It all started with a USB drive that was accidentally found, containing horrifying evidence that unveiled more dark secrets about the perpetrator. So, what is the true identity of this killer? And what chilling secrets did the suspicious USB reveal? Join us as we delve into every detail to uncover the truth behind this story in today's video. The terrifying story began on April 24th, when Sydney police received an emergency call from a local resident. The caller reported a horrifying scene near the fountain, along the coastline in Memorial Lake National Park. Police immediately dispatched an investigative team to the scene. Upon arrival, guided by detailed directions from witnesses, they searched the area around the fountain. Shortly after, they discovered a large plastic bag discarded in a secluded corner, containing the body of a young woman. Based on initial observations, the victim was identified as being of Asian descent, aged between 20 and 30, and approximately 170 centimeters tall. Police and forensic experts noted numerous severe injuries on the victim's body. Knife wounds were visible all over, particularly concentrated on the chest and abdomen, indicating the killer had acted with terrifying aggression. The victim's head also showed significant trauma, suggesting she had been struck with a hard object, such as a stick or rock. Additionally, there was a deep cut on the woman's neck, about 4 centimeters deep, which was determined to be the direct cause of death. These signs clearly indicated this was neither an accident nor a suicide, but a murder. Investigators believed the victim had been brutally killed before her body was left at the location. However, the body had been submerged in water for an extended period, erasing most critical evidence such as fingerprints, the killer's DNA, or any signs of assault. This made the case more complex and raised even more unanswered questions. So, who was this unfortunate young woman? Why had she become the target of such a brutal murder in a park frequented by many people? Recognizing the severity of the case, Sydney police quickly launched a comprehensive investigation. Investigators immediately searched databases for missing persons in the area to find clues about the victim's identity. They carefully analyzed the characteristics of the body, including estimated height, gender, and age. The process of cross-referencing the data was urgent and meticulous. Police also thoroughly examined each case, comparing physical descriptions and distinctive features like tattoos or body marks. Despite their best efforts and utilizing all available resources, investigators found no matching results in the first hours of the investigation. It wasn't until the next morning that a couple approached the New South Wales police station to report their niece missing. According to their statement, their niece had been out of contact since April 20th, leaving them extremely worried and anxious. Zhang Fang, the aunt, recounted that her niece, Leng Mengmei, was an international student at the University of Technology, Sydney, pursuing a bachelor's degree in Australia. Zhang's husband also stated that Leng Mengmei was not the type of person to go missing or fail to inform anyone of her whereabouts. When their niece disappeared, both were filled with unease, believing something terrible had happened. Could the missing girl be the unidentified body found by police near the fountain? Upon receiving the report, police immediately went to Zhang Fang's home to collect personal items belonging to Leng Mengmei for DNA testing. The forensic results showed that DNA from Mengmei's belongings matched the DNA found on the body discovered at the fountain in Mannering Lake National Park. Later, Zhang Fang, Mengmei's aunt, directly identified the body at the police station and confirmed it was her niece. On the morning of April 29th, police officially announced the victim's identity as Leng Mengmei and confirmed this was a serious murder case. During the initial investigation, police quickly focused on those closest to the victim, with the first suspect being Leng Mengma's boyfriend. According to Zhang Fang, her niece had previously shared on social media about her romantic relationship with an Australian boyfriend. Zhang Fang stated that Meng Mai had been dating this man for about 2 months before the incident occurred. The aunt also remarked that the man seemed suspicious, untrustworthy, and often displayed strange behavior, which had worried the family when they learned Meng Mai was dating him. However, Zhang Fang's testimony did not convince the police, as verification results showed that the boyfriend in question did not have a close relationship with the victim. Interviews with those close to him, along with checks on his schedule, revealed that he had no clear motive or suspicious behavior related to the case. This forced investigators to expand their search and focus on other aspects of the incident. In an effort to continue the investigation, police began reconstructing the timeline from when Leng Mengmai was last seen until her family reported her missing. They followed every small clue, starting from April 21, 2016. According to the information gathered, at around 3 p.m. that day, a classmate saw Meng Mei standing in front of the main building of the University of Technology, Sydney. According to the witness, she appeared cheerful, dressed neatly, and showed no signs of anything unusual. After chatting for a while, Meng Mei parted ways with her friend and left the school area, saying she was going to a nearby shopping center. Surveillance footage from the shopping center confirmed Meng Mei's presence there. According to the extracted video, at around 4 p.m., she was seen strolling through the stores, stopping by a drink stall, and buying a cup of bubble tea. From there, she headed toward the Kenthurst train station near her residence. Notably, surveillance cameras at the station captured images of Meng Mei waiting for the train for about 10 minutes. However, after that, she completely disappeared and was not seen on any other surveillance cameras. According to her aunt Zhang Fang, on the evening of April 21 after returning home, Leng Mengmei called her at around 8 p.m. Police confirmed that when Meng Mei returned, only Barrett, her aunt's husband, was present at the house during that time. Based on the critical detail of Meng Mei's mysterious disappearance, police decided to extend the investigation by extracting surveillance footage from around her residence. The results were shocking. No footage captured Meng Mei leaving the house after she returned on the afternoon of April 21. This raised suspicions that Meng Mei's mysterious disappearance might be directly linked to someone in her household. After thoroughly examining the evidence, police quickly shifted their investigation to focus on Barrett, the man living with Meng Mei. According to information uncovered by the police, Barrett was not the man Zhang Fang had dreamed of marrying. The marriage between Meng Mei's aunt, who was then in her 40s, and Barrett, a 23-year-old man, was clearly a relationship based more on convenience than genuine love. Zhang Fang, hoping to secure Australian citizenship, had married Barrett to fulfill her dream. Under Australian naturalization laws, a foreigner can apply for citizenship after 4 years of legal cohabitation with a local citizen. Meanwhile, Barrett, who was a drug addict and lazy, had no interest in love or family responsibilities. His sole purpose was to take advantage of the financial support from his wife, who was 17 years older than him, to live comfortably without working. The entire family of 4 lived together in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment. When Meng Mei moved in, the already tight space became even more claustrophobic. In that small apartment, they tried to maintain the appearance of a harmonious family, with no visible signs of conflict or unusual behavior. Yet sometimes, such eerie tranquility can serve as the perfect mask to hide the darkest secrets. With the initial information gathered, Barrett became the primary suspect in the case, and police arrested him on the afternoon of April 29 for further investigation. One of the key pieces of evidence leading to his arrest was the phone signal data from Meng Mei's device. Analysis showed that after Meng Mei returned home on the afternoon of April 21, her phone signal never left the house. This indicated that she was likely murdered inside the house and that the perpetrator had deliberately staged a false scenario to mislead investigators. Although this evidence strongly implicated Barrett in Meng Mei's disappearance, police still needed direct evidence and a confession from Barrett to charge him. Immediately after arresting Barrett, police conducted an emergency search of the house where he lived with Meng Mei's family. This search revealed shocking discoveries, elevating the case to a more severe level. In the bathroom and Meng Mei's bedroom, police found several hidden cameras installed in a sophisticated manner. These devices had clearly been used to secretly monitor the victim over an extended period, revealing a chilling side of Barrett's behavior. Investigators then examined Barrett's electronic devices, including his phone and personal computer. Through this, they discovered a series of disturbing voyeuristic videos recorded by Barrett himself. In these videos, Barrett had secretly filmed private moments of Meng Mei, including when she was showering in the bathroom and changing clothes in her bedroom. What enraged investigators and the public the most was a video discovered in the memory of Barrett's phone. In the video, he was seen sneaking into Meng Mei's room while she was fast asleep. The footage showed Barrett committing acts of assault against his niece. With compelling evidence, Sydney police officially filed charges against Barrett, and the case was brought to trial in court on June 29, 2016. At the trial, prosecutors presented a complete and detailed sequence of evidence related to the case. From surveillance footage, videos found on Barrett's phone, to witness testimonies, everything was logically organized to reconstruct the entire sequence of events. Under the weight of the undeniable evidence, Barrett finally confessed to his crimes. According to his testimony and investigative findings, Barrett had harbored ill intentions toward Meng Mei for a long time. During their time living together, he often acted secretly and waited silently for the right opportunity to strike. On April 21, after Meng Mei returned home, Barrett noticed that the house was completely empty. His wife was at work, and her 2 children from a previous relationship had returned to China. At that time, only he and Meng Mei were in the house. Seeing this as the opportunity he had long awaited, Barrett immediately began executing his sinister plan. In the early hours of April 22, Barrett sneaked into Meng Mei's room while she was sound asleep. He brought with him a hard object he had prepared in advance and used it to render her unconscious. When Meng Mei collapsed, he quickly bound her hands and feet with tape, preventing her from resisting. However, while Barrett was in the midst of carrying out his dark plan, Meng Mei unexpectedly regained consciousness. Realizing the danger, she struggled and cried out for help, but this only made Barrett more aggressive. He hurriedly gagged her with a white cloth and taped it tightly, ensuring she could not make any sound. After subduing Meng Mei, Barrett did not stop there but continued to commit heinous acts against her. He used his phone to take a total of 19 photos, documenting her being bound and tormented. However, to ensure his actions were not discovered, Barrett decided he had to kill her to silence her permanently. In a fit of madness, he retrieved a knife from the house and repeatedly stabbed Meng Mei. In total, he inflicted over 30 stab wounds, stopping only when she was near death. Barrett's torment of Meng Mei lasted more than 10 hours in the house where he and her family lived. Notably, at around 3 p.m. on April 22, while the crime was unfolding, Meng Mei's cousin unexpectedly dropped by the house. To hide his crime, Barrett quickly dragged Meng Mei into the bathroom and locked the door. When Meng Mei's cousin asked about it, Barrett calmly explained that the bathroom had a bad smell and suggested she use the other bathroom in the house. Barrett maintained a facade of normalcy and stayed in the bathroom for a long time to ensure no one would discover anything. He only left the bathroom after he was certain that Meng Mei's cousin had left the house. Immediately afterward, he continued his cruel plan by wrapping Meng Mei's body in a large plastic bag. To dispose of the evidence, he placed the victim's body in the trunk of his car, preparing to transport it far from the crime scene to erase all traces. During the time Meng Mei was missing, while Zhang Fang expressed concern, Barrett remained completely calm. He showed no signs of fear or panic, and even tried to convince Zhang Feng not to rush into reporting the matter to the police. In the early hours of April 24, Barrett woke up very early to carry out the final step of his plan to dispose of Meng Mai's body. He drove his car with the victim's body in the trunk to Manamora Lake National Park, about 100 km away from the house. There, he chose a secluded area to dispose of the body, attempting to conceal all evidence of his crime. However, when he was arrested and confronted with the overwhelming evidence, Barrett tried to justify his barbaric actions. He claimed that he had consumed a large amount of crystal meth prior to committing the crime, causing him to lose control and be unaware of his actions. But police were not convinced by this excuse. They pointed out that Barrett's detailed descriptions of how he carried out the crime showed he was fully conscious and aware during the entire time. Additionally, further investigation revealed that the stash of crystal meth Barrett had purchased earlier had been used up weeks before the crime occurred. This proved that Barrett's testimony was nothing more than a clumsy excuse to avoid responsibility. The evidence from the crime scene and his own confessions further clarified the brutality and calculated nature of his crimes, rendering any attempt at defense meaningless. On December 13, 2017, the court officially charged Barrett with 22 serious offenses. These included murder, 19 charges related to secretly filming others' private areas without consent, and 2 charges of possessing illegal pornographic material. Just 2 days later, on December 15, 2017, the Australian court sentenced Barrett to 46 years in prison, with no possibility of parole for 34 years and 6 months. This heavy sentence seemed to have closed the entire case, but a shocking surprise occurred in the year 2019. In November 2019, a woman living in Sydney returned to visit her mother, who was suffering from Alzheimer's disease. While chatting, she noticed her mother fiddling with a USB drive that she couldn't remember where she had gotten from. At first, the woman thought it was a harmless item, but curiosity led her to check the contents of the USB. When she plugged the USB into her computer and opened the files, what appeared on the screen horrified her to the point of disbelief. The USB contained 9 videos and 13 photos, with shocking and deeply disturbing content. In the videos, a Chinese woman appeared naked, her hands and feet tightly bound with tape, unable to resist or escape. The woman was heard repeatedly begging a white man to stop, her voice filled with despair and fear. However, her weak pleas were completely ignored. The man coldly continued to assault the victim in a ruthless manner. The images and sounds in the videos were enough to make viewers shudder at the inhumanity of the acts recorded. Toward the end of one video, an accident occurred, causing the camera to fall to the ground unexpectedly. The images became blurry and shaky, no longer capturing any clear frames. However, what sent chills down the viewer's spine was that the audio continued to record clearly. The painful screams and desperate sobbing of the Chinese woman echoed, like choking cries of ultimate terror and despair. The haunting sound lingered before the video abruptly ended, leaving an eerie silence behind. The contents of the USB not only shed further light on the hidden aspects of the case that shocked the public 3 years earlier, but also unveiled an even darker side of the crime. The videos and images served as undeniable evidence, providing crucial insights into Barrett's barbaric actions. Once the woman overcame her initial horror, she realized the importance of the USB in restoring justice for the victim. She quickly brought the USB to the local police. Upon careful review, the police confirmed that the images and videos on the USB were evidence from the Lang Mengmei case. These materials were crucial supplements, further clarifying the extent of Barrett's crimes. The videos revealed the brutal process of assaulting and torturing the victim, leaving no doubt about the monstrous nature of the perpetrator. Without hesitation, the police compiled the contents of the USB into an official evidence dossier. This dossier was immediately submitted to the court, accompanied by a request to reopen the case for further investigation and to uncover the full truth. This action was not only aimed at ensuring justice for the victim, but also at determining a more appropriate sentence for the perpetrator, whose horrific actions exceeded everyone's imagination. Through meticulous investigation and forensic examination, experts confirmed that the white man appearing in the videos from the phone and hidden cameras was none other than Barrett, the husband of the victim's aunt. This irrefutable evidence further cemented Barrett's direct involvement in the heinous crimes he committed. On December 9, 2020, in light of new evidence presented, the court decided to reopen a second trial related to this case. This time, prosecutors presented additional detailed evidence of Barrett's vile actions against Lang Meng-Mei, including the images and videos he stored on his personal phone. Both the court and the public present at the trial were horrified by the level of cruelty and depravity in Barrett's actions. After considering all circumstances and evidence, the court sentenced Barrett to an additional 22 years in prison for the sexual assault charges, adding to his previous 46-year sentence for the murder of Lang Meng-Mei. Thus, Barrett's total sentence amounted to 68 years in prison, the maximum penalty under Australia's judicial system for a criminal like him. However, the trial's outcome sparked considerable public debate. Australia abolished the death penalty in 1967, meaning that Barrett, despite the severity and brutality of his crimes, would not face execution. Many expressed dissatisfaction, arguing that a 68-year prison sentence was still insufficient to compensate for the pain and loss he caused. Debates about whether the country should reinstate the death penalty for exceptionally severe cases continued, making the case a hot topic not only in the judicial system but also across Australian society. Thank you for watching the video. If you found the content compelling and interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest cases.